welcome to Kush News, the newscast of the African diaspora. I'm your anchor, Ochanda, daily bringing you the top stories from Africa and the Caribbean. Let's take a look at today's news on Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. We go to Ethiopia, where they cancel flights to Eritrea. Ethiopian Airlines has halted flights to Eritrea, citing challenging operating conditions. The suspension comes after Eritrea announced that it would end all Ethiopian airline flights by the end of the month. Flights between the two countries had resumed back in 2018 following a peace agreement. Diplomatic sources suggest that the flight suspension indicates a deterioration between relations between the two countries. The two countries previously severed ties back in 1998 due to a war on the border, and tensions had surfaced following Eritrea's exclusion from the peace talks that ended the conflict in Tigray. Ethiopian Airlines, Africa's largest by revenue, announced that it would assist affected passengers with rebooking or refunds, but it did not specify the exact nature of the operational challenges. Those in Ethiopia. Let us know your thoughts on the canceling of flights to Eritrea until further notice. What are your thoughts? Are you for it? Are you against it? Let's go to Zimbabwe, where the president states that he will not rerun. Zimbabwe President Emerson Mnangagwa, aka the Crocodile, has reaffirmed that he will leave office upon the end of his second and final presidential term. The 81-year-old's final term is due to end in 2028. Responding to questions from the Zimbabwean community in China, where he is currently on a state visit, Mnangagwa reiterated his stance that he will not rerun as his term expires in 2028.
I'm a constitutionalist.
I have stated that I will follow the law, I will abide by the constitution, and again, I'm a writer, so those chats saying I might add more years, no, I won't do that. I have my mandate I was given by the people. When it expires, someone else will come and take their part. So this question of having a third term does not arise, especially under my watch. No, I'm in my second term and I already know even the date. I will step down from the position in 2028.
In the event that Mnangagwa finally decides to run for a third presidential term, he has to navigate a constitutional landmine. Section 95 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe declares that a presidential term of office runs for 5 years. Coupled with Section 91 states that a person is disqualified from election if if he or she has already held the office for more than 2 terms. Mnangagwa has already served a year into his second term. By all accounts, including his own words, this is his final term in office. Those in Zimbabwe, let us know your thoughts on the president stating that he will not look to run for a third time. Let's go to Nigeria, where they place a bounty on a British citizen. A British national has said that he is at a loss of words as to why the Nigerian police have accused him of planning to overthrow Nigeria's government. It was alleged by Nigeria's police spokesperson on Monday that Andrew Wine had built up a network of sleeper cells to destabilize Nigeria and had fled the country in the wake of last month's cost of living protests.
He mobilized and deployed several billions of naira to his Nigerian collaborators, urging them to mobilize the public to violently storm police facilities and military barracks, anticipating a bloodbath that will instigate international condemnation of the Nigerian government. These acts are in clear violation of the Terrorism Prevention Act of 2011 and other relevant laws of this country.
He says Mr. Wayne owned and operated Eva Valley Bookshop and Stars of Nation Schools as cover for his activities.
Preliminary findings suggest the orchestrated and funded violent protests, disseminated false information, and engaged in other unlawful activities to create anarchy and justify their illegal plots to overthrow the democratically elected government.
Their links with the NLC president are also a subject of investigation.
The invitation extended to certain individuals within the Nigerian Labour Congress leadership has nothing to do with rights advocacy and activities of the union leadership, but is aimed at clearing the relationship between the individuals and Andrew Wayne, who, in addition to plotting unconstitutional regime change, is also financing terrorism in Nigeria. Following the interaction between the police investigation team and the NLC president, there is now a clearer understanding of the focus of the ongoing police investigation and the depth of Andrew Wayne's subversive network and activities.
The police say there are more evidences to come. Sifon Essien, TVC News, Abuja.
Related developments, the Briton Andrew Wine, accused by the Nigeria Police Force of inciting insurrection against President Bola Tinubu, has charged the Nigerian government not to treat protests as treason. Mr. Wine, in a statement, reacted to the police's allegation of building a network of sleeper cells to topple the Bola Tinubu administration. Recall that the Nigeria Police said it raided and sealed Mr. Wine's bookshop located at the Abuja headquarters of the Nigeria Labour Congress. The government on Monday arraigned 10 Nigerians who participated in last month's nationwide protests in Abuja. Part of the charges against them was that they collaborated with a 70-year-old Briton with intent to destabilize Nigeria, called on the military to take over the government from President Bola Tinubu.
Those in Nigeria, let us know your thoughts on a British citizen having a bounty placed on their head. Wow! You know, it's often that, African or Caribbean individuals have what they call like a red alert, a warrant for their arrest and a money placed on the capture of them. So this is actually one of my first times seeing that an African country has placed a bounty over a European citizen. Wow. We go to Congo, where jailbreak attempt ends in casualties. An attempt by inmates to break out of prison in the capital of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Kinshasa, has led to the death of 129 people. Interior Minister Jacquemain Shabani said that 24 prisoners had died of bullet wounds after warning shots were fired in the early morning of Monday. Most of the others died from suffocation as a result of trampling during the breakout at Makala prison. Despite reports of mass casualties emerging on Monday, the government had initially said that only 2 people had died. 7 years ago, almost to this day, at least 4,000 inmates escaped from the same prison. On Monday, people living near the prison spoke about hearing gunshots, but attempts by journalists to reach the site were thwarted by police officers who blocked access to the area. Footage from the aftermath of the attempted breakout appears to show a huge hole in the brick wall, charred buildings, and firemen working on site with an office with papers across the floor. Makala prison, dating from the 1950s, has only a capacity to hold 1,500 prisoners, but currently more than 14,000 inmates are being held. At the time, it's estimated that only 6% of the prisoners are actually serving sentences. The rest are stuck in the legal system where cases can drag on for years. The Justice Minister for the country has promised to intensify efforts to decongest prisons across Congo. Those in the DRC, let us know on if you work close to the capital, if you live and work next to the prisons, or to the Makala prison where a attempt at a breakout. Let us know if you feel that this was part of a larger scheme than just a prison breakout. When we come back, we'll have today's African proverb of the day. Don't go anywhere.
Don't send money back home. So there's a few things why. Number one, get the voices out of your head. Usually when you're sending money back home, it's because your mom's voice.
Precious! Get down here, bitch!
Your dad's voice.
Wait a minute, man. What's all this about grandkids, man? You've been using the rubbers I gave you, ain't you?
Your uncle with the wooden leg. Your aunt with the glass eye.
Should we have a chat now?
Amika, welcome to This Morning.
Welcome to This Morning. I'm thrilled to be here and I can't wait for the fun to begin.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at the African proverb of the day. And it comes to us from Burkina Faso, the land of the upright man. What's going on? We're here at Kush News. We see Ibrahim Troy. We see you. And it reads, that which is hard is good. Whatever is easy brings no benefit. Once again, that which is hard is good. Whatever is easy brings no benefit. Burkina Faso proverb. You can look at this many different ways. They say that often fast money, the money that you get from drug dealing, stealing, scamming, lying, deceitfulness, it's usually pretty quick. And then it usually, they say, I mean, again, there's different nuances, degrees of variation of interpretation, but they say for the most part that fast money doesn't last. But the money that, it comes from honest living, being a photographer, being a mechanic, being a gym trainer, being an electrician, being the number one DJ MC in the game. That money, not only does it last, but also you're not looking to get rid of it right away, or you're not looking to hide it because you know that you didn't get it from an honest living. Do your best with it. I look at this as two different ways. I'm coming in more into the mindset that there's necessarily two different kinds of people. One that sees something one way, and then the other that sees something the other way. So whatever it is, just know that try to make the money that you're working for last. Let me know your interpretation of the African proverb of the day, as well as your thoughts, views, questions, comments, and concerns on the top stories. Don't forget to hit that like button. Make it your best friend for Kush News on Kush Convo TV. I'm Ochanda. We'll see you soon.